my friends, welcome back. We are going to now look at the 7 names or titles. All of these titles, names of the Lord, are from the book of Isaiah. So, O Sapientia. Sarah made these for her family so that they could. Tell us why you made them, Sarah.
Well, because I mean the old antiphons are right the week preceding Christmas, right before you start getting into the week of Christmas, and we like to with our Advent calendar, we do the prayers, we light our candle, and then this is just the way that we elevate our enthusiasm for the coming of the Lord, and it gives us an opportunity not only to reflect on Christ as the infant who's coming, but all of the goodness that has been foretold about him. There are so many, we think of Jesus Christ as the baby in the womb, but he's that, but he's so much more than that. And there's just, you can't plumb the depths. And so this is just kind of a way that we bring that into the ritual of the family, the domestic church, right?
That's right. The first one was O Sapientia, O Wisdom. That's from Isaiah 11, 2-3. The second one is O Adonai, O Lord. And we'll come back to these titles a little bit. That would be Isaiah 11, 4-5 and 33-22. O Radix Jesse, O Root of Jesse, Isaiah 11, 1. O Clavis David, O Key of David, Isaiah 22:22. O Orans, O Dayspring, Isaiah 9:1. O Rex Gentium, O King of the Nations, Isaiah 2:4. And of course, O Emmanuel, O God with us, Isaiah 7:14. Collectively, they speak to, looking at the titles, we find an acrostic. Taking the first letter of each antiphon and working in reverse, we see the Latin words arrow cross. Literally, these words translate tomorrow I will be, or perhaps more appropriately for Advent and the impending nativity, tomorrow I will come. And as Sarah said, beginning December 17th of each Advent season and for the next 7 days, a special antiphon, known as an O antiphon, is read before the Magnificat during evening prayer. Remember the Liturgy of the Hours, that's a great prayer of the church, and after Holy Mass, and of course ties directly to the Holy Mass's liturgy, or before the Gospel at Mass. So sometimes it's the O antiphon is at Mass, and sometimes it is with the Liturgy of the Hours, and sometimes it's both. Sometimes called the great O because of the exclamation of O. They differ from the daily antiphons. So right, we have different types of antiphons. And they differ from the daily ones because they herald the coming birth of Christ. Originally written in Latin around the 7th or 8th century, hence why we were looking at the extraordinary form in a particular way, because it began in Latin. These antiphons are verses extracted from, namely, Isaiah, and expressing that longing for the coming of Christ. In fact, the word come is used in every O antiphon.
And I think people who attend the Novus Ordo will recognize these because they are the verses from, in translation, but they're the verses from O Come, O Come, Emmanuel. And sometimes when you look in your book, you'll see them numbered in a certain way, and you'll wonder, well, why are they numbered in this way? Or like, why do we sing it this way, right? Because O Come, Emmanuel, that last song that everyone is familiar with, that's the great one, right? The one that is sung prior to the 24th. But the rest of them, O Come, O Wisdom from on high, who orders all things mightily, right? These should be familiar to most people, even those who have attended the Novus Ordo. Because they are still sung. It is the primary Advent hymn of the church. So it's like the O antiphon has been expanded in the Novus Ordo throughout the entirety of the Advent season, as opposed to being contained more precisely on those last 7 days. But it should be familiar.
That's true. Each of the 7 antiphons begins by addressing Jesus, but using an Old Testament title for the Messiah. So I thought we need to take a little run through Dave Irvin when we start talking about Jesus, Old Testament, New Testament, because we just let's all be clear about things. Sacred Scripture as teacher, so right, liturgy as teacher. Of course, we think Sacred Scripture as teacher. Oh, here's my book. It's as church writings go. This is a pretty slim one.
Yes, it is. Yeah, right.
It's
and that's from the Vatican II, right?
It is Vatican II. It's a dogmatic constitution on divine revelation.
Right.
So paragraph 11. All scripture is divinely inspired and has its use for teaching the truth and refuting error, for reformation of manners and discipline and right living, so that man who belongs to God may be efficient and equipped for good work of every kind. Proverbs is we're working towards Isaiah. That's where we're going here. So I'm going to give an example, and then we're going to zero into Isaiah. Proverbs, for example, is a treasure trove because it says a reformation of manners and discipline and right living. So for the man who belongs to God, so he may be efficient and equipped for good work of every kind. What a promise. All right. Proverbs is exactly that place to look. Okay.
Yep.
It's a treasure trove. I've heard some students of Scripture compare the economy of salvation, how the Lord works, as a seed, as something in seed form, a planting, and a harvesting. So if we take that as a model, Proverbs tells us whatever we plant with this action, with this thought, with this deed, you will reap this reaction. And that is really very nice. You go into the garden center, you see a seed of cabbages, right?
That's right.
You shouldn't expect to get tomatoes.
That's right.
And so Proverbs is just really wonderful. If the generous man reaps a bountiful harvest, and the man consumed with lust, a whole bunch of other problems. So now to Isaiah. So why does the extraordinary, so if you looked at the extraordinary form, you'll find that the texts are a little different in Isaiah. So the attempted to, so of course, I went to my missal and I brought up, this antiphons in the missal, and you're going to start to see a little difference in the text.
Right.
And so I encourage, whenever you have that, go to those footnotes, that little print at the bottom of the Bible, and that really will help you to get yourself squared away of what's going on. And it's actually a good exercise to do that. Now to Isaiah. Yahweh is salvation, is what Isaiah means. It was written around 587 BC, and it's written during both the divided kingdom and the exilic. I'm sorry, we're right at the stop point. Let's pick up Isaiah right at the top, and we'll give you time to reflect on it. So don't go away, friends. I'm sorry. Till then, fide sed ratio.